Data collection techniques. Questionnaire. According to Merriam-Webster, questionnaire is a written set of questions that are given to people in order to collect facts or opinions about something. Pre-questionnaire planning. Major steps and of emphasizing decisions that should be made before the data collection instrument is selected or designed. 1. Define the problem and purpose. 2. Consider previous, related research, the advice of experts, and so on. 3. Hypothesize a solution to the problem. 4. Identify the information needed to test. 5. Identify the potential respondents or subjects. And 6. Select the best or most appropriate technique for collecting the necessary data. Advantages and disadvantages of questionnaire. Advantages. The questionnaire, especially the mail, email, and web-based questionnaire, tends to encourage frank answers. The characteristics of the questionnaire that help to produce frank answers also eliminate interviewer bias. Disadvantages. Use of the mail questionnaire eliminates personal contact between their searcher and the respondent. The mail questionnaire does not permit the respondent to qualify answers to ambiguous questions or, at least, makes it more difficult. Constructing the questionnaire. Proper construction of the questionnaire is essential to its success. In general, the researcher must consider his or her information needs and the characteristics of the participants. Type of question according to information needed. In selecting or writing specific types of questions, the researcher must first consider what kind of data he or she needs. The major types of questions, according to the kind of information needed, include the following. 1. Factual questions, questions used to ascertain such things as their respondent's age, gender, and so on. 2. Opinion and attitude questions, questions intended to determine a person's ideas, inclinations, prejudices, convictions, and so on. 3. Information questions, questions designed to measure the respondent's knowledge about some topic. 4. Self-perception questions, questions quite similar to attitude questions, but restricted to one's opinions about himself or herself. 5. Standards of action questions, questions used to determine how respondents would act in certain circumstances. 6. Questions about actual past or present behavior. Lastly, projective questions, questions that allow respondents to answer questions indirectly by imposing their personal beliefs, attitudes, and so on onto others. Type of question according to form. There are two basic types of questions: open-ended questions and fixed-response questions, designed to permit free responses from participants rather than unless limited to specific alternatives. Also known as closed questions, limit responses of the participant to stated alternatives. Scaled responses. A variety of questions utilize scales of one type or another in order to obtain responses. One kind of scale is the rating scale. Specific rating scales, with examples, include the following. Multiple item scales can help to reduce complexity of data. Differential scale utilizes a series of statements or items with equidistances between them. Sources of error. Before continuing with the outline of the procedures for developing a questionnaire, it may be worthwhile to consider some of the types of questionnaire error not already discussed. Some of the more common types of error or bias, not all of which are limited to questionnaires, are the following. Researcher bias, sponsorship bias, imperfections of design, respondent interpretations, time-lapse, circumstances, response bias, and reactive insight. Preparing the first draft. In preparing the first draft of the questionnaire, the researcher may decide that some questions are of such a nature that respondents are unlikely to answer them accurately or honestly. Cross-check questions. Those that ask for the same information as one or more others, but each is worded differently. Evaluating the questionnaire. Once the first draft of the questionnaire has been completed, and before it is actually pretested, it is a good idea to get one or more experts' opinion of the questionnaire. The pretest. A pretest gives their searcher an opportunity to identify questionnaire items that tend to be misunderstood by the participants, do not obtain the information that is needed, and soon. Final editing. Having been pretested, the questionnaire is ready for final editing before distribution. It is recommended that the title of the study or survey be placed at the top of the questionnaire. The general rule is that the questionnaire should be as short as possible in order to encourage complete responses. Cover letter. The basic purpose of the cover letter is to explain briefly the purpose of the study and to stress the importance of each person's responding. Distribution of the questionnaire. There are three main methods of administering the survey questionnaire. Types of questionnaires based on distribution: mail questionnaire, computer questionnaire, telephone questionnaire. In-house questionnaire. The interview. Developing the interview. One of the first steps must be development of the list of questions to be asked or the interview schedule. An additional step in the development of the interview involves the training of interviewers. Advantages and disadvantages of interviews. Focus group interviews. The focus group is a group interview designed to explore in depth the feelings and beliefs people hold and to learn how these feelings shape overt behavior. Analysis and reporting of the focus group data. There are then two basic approaches to analyzing focus group data: ethnographic summary and content analysis. Ethnography involves establishing rapport, selecting research participants, transcribing observations and conversations, and keeping diaries. The content analysis approach produces numerical descriptions of the data. Telephone interviews. Telephone interview advantages. Observation and usability testing. Observation is one of the oldest forms of data collection, but in order to qualify as scientific observation, it should meet certain criteria. Scientific observation should be systematic, objective, and free from bias, quantitative whenever possible, and strong in usability, reliability, and validity. Advantages of observational research. Limitations of observational research. Usability testing. The observation and analysis of users' behavior while they interact with a system or prototype. Thank you for watching.